This is the Rolex Oyster Perpetual 36, and I've been wearing mine long enough to have real thoughts that go beyond the shiny new phase. I wanted to make this video because I kept reaching for it over everything else, even when I told myself I should rotate. That says something. I also had questions before I got it. 36 millimeters, no date, smooth bezel. Would it feel too simple? Too small? So here's how it actually lives day to day. The OP36 sits in that minimalist, time-only lane. It's the cleanest piece in the Rolex lineup and to me, the most honest. Mine has the coral red dial from the lacquer color run, the one that always sparks a comment. I see this watch as the one watch type of piece for someone who wants classic proportions, wants to wear it to work, dinner, weekends, and the pool, and doesn't want to babysit a complicated dial or a fragile finish. It's not the flashiest option, and that's exactly why I'm into it. On the wrist, the size is dialed in. I doubted 36 at first because I came from bigger watches, but the proportions make it feel more substantial than the number suggests. The 20mm bracelet balances the case, and the way it sits, flat, centered, not top-heavy, makes it disappear until I need it. I slide this under tighter cuffs with zero snag, which never happened with my chunkier models. The weight feels solid watch, without feeling like gym equipment. Real life has been the true test. I wear this to the office, out to dinner, and on weekends when I'm running errands or at a backyard cookout. I've taken it swimming a bunch of times, and I don't baby it around a sink. The crown screws in with that confident, springy feel, and I trust it. The smooth bezel is the honest part of the story, though. It looks like liquid steel when it's clean, but it's a scratch magnet. I caught it on a doorframe the first week. At first it hurt. After a few months, the marks blended into a soft haze that actually suits the watch. It's a piece you live with, not a museum object. The bracelet is the unsung hero. The brushing hides most of the hairlines. The polished sides give it a touch of dress without being loud. And the Easy Link is something I use more than I thought I would. After a big meal or in hot weather, I pop it out, and that extra 5mm makes the difference between annoying and set and forget. The clasp doesn't have the safety flip you get on the sport models, and while I've never had it open accidentally, I do miss that extra mental lock when I'm doing something more active. The dial on mine is a statement, but not in a shouty way. The coral red lacquer sits flat and saturated, almost like enamel. It photographs like crazy, and in person it makes me smile when I catch it under sunlight. At night, the chromolite glow is strong, and those double batons at 3, 6, and 9 help me orient the time instantly. I used to be on the fence about the double markers, living with it. I like the structure they add. Accuracy and the movement are hard to ignore, even if I try not to get too nerdy. Mine runs consistently around plus 1 second a day, which is nuts for a mechanical watch. The 70-hour power reserve is a bigger deal than I expected. I take it off on a Friday night, pick it up Monday morning, and it's still running. That makes it feel like a dependable tool, not a project. I have noticed the faint rotor whir in a quiet room when I move my wrist quickly. It doesn't bother me, but it's there if you listen for it. I'm also aware of the chatter about the 32XX series, sometimes developing lower amplitude and losing time. I track mine against my phone every so often. So far, mine's rock solid, and I'm prepared to send it in if it ever drifts. That possibility doesn't change how I wear it. A couple benefits matter more than any spec sheet. Versatility is the key one. This thing goes from a t-shirt to a blazer without trying. The lack of a date sounds boring, but not having to worry about a date wheel or an AM/PM setting reduces friction. I pick it up, set the time, and I'm out the door. Comfort is another. The thickness is right, the case back is flat, and the balance is spot on. It never gets in the way when I'm typing or reaching into a pocket. And the water resistance gives me confidence to live my life without constantly thinking about the watch. Against things I've owned, the differences feel clearer. I had the Oyster Perpetual 39 before this, and while I loved the presence, the dial felt a little empty on my wrist. The 36 fills the space better, especially with the double markers, and it's easier under a shirt cuff. I've also spent time with a Datejust 36 on polished center links and a fluted bezel. Gorgeous, but the polished centers showed desk rash after a week, and the fluted look felt dressy every day, even with casual clothes. The OP is cleaner and more relaxed. Compared to an Explorer 36, the Explorer feels like a tool. Matte dial, flip lock, even more secure clasp. I appreciate that when I'm hiking. The OP wears a touch more refined, and for office to weekend life, it's the better fit for me. Against pricier pieces like a Submariner or a gold Datejust, the OP36 holds its own on the core experience. I know I'm not getting a rotating bezel or precious metal, but I'm getting the same kind of timekeeping and that same feeling of a dial and bracelet that were designed to be worn, not just admired. If you measure value by how often you'll wear it and how little you'll think about it while you live your life, the OP36 scores high. Is it worth buying? If you want one do-it-all watch that's understated, comfortable, and makes you happy every time you check the time, yes. If you're chasing flash or a status piece to announce itself, this isn't that. Availability can be annoying, and I won't pretend it isn't. My take is simple. If you can get a color you like at a fair number, go for it. If you're paying a premium, make sure you love the dial and the simplicity, because that's what you're buying: clarity, wearability, and a design that has aged well for decades. I'm happy to answer questions and compare notes in the comments. If you've got wrist size worries, color indecision, or you're debating between this and an Explorer or Datejust, drop it below and I'll share what worked for me. I will share detailed information about the Rolex Oyster Perpetual 36 in the comments section, everyone. Thank you for watching.